Was there another expensive mistake you made when moving to Costa Rica?
Was there another?
Oh, yeah.
expensive mistake?
Hey everyone, I'm Zach from StartAbroad. We're here today with Jim and Carolyn, and we're talking about some of their most expensive mistakes when moving to Costa Rica.
Hi, I'm Jim Timmons.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Timmons.
Where are you from?
I was from Texas originally. I now live in Oneway in Costa Rica.
Also originally from Texas, but before moving to Nuevo Arenal 6 years ago, we spent 20 years in the Kalamazoo, Michigan area. We're here today to make our loss the gain of new expats, folks who are looking to move to Costa Rica. We had a very steep learning curve the first couple of months, and moving is stressful enough. We really would like folks to learn from our mistakes. And the mistakes were stressful emotionally, and they were about $20,000 worth of mistakes the first month. So we've been here 6 years, by the way, almost.
Who is this?
This is Lupita. Lupita is almost a wiener dog.
Lupita's very handsome.
Thank you. She says thank you. The first expensive mistake we made when we moved here.
We hadn't even gotten out of the airport. We decided to move here, so we bought one-way tickets. And you can't go on a tourist visa with a one-way ticket because the airlines will not allow you to do so. So in order to get on the plane, I had to buy a return ticket for myself and my wife. My daughter also came with us, but she already had a return ticket. Then, in order to get credit for those tickets, I later had to change those tickets, and that was $250 for each ticket. So we were down $500 before we left the airport.
And we almost missed our flight trying to complete this transaction with 3 dogs and everything we were bringing with us on our backs. So next big expensive mistake we made moving to Costa Rica.
That would be the lawyer, I think. We selected a lawyer by using a big international travel company, and we had to put down a $3,000 retainer to use that lawyer. That lawyer was unresponsive and gave us bad advice. So I ended up having to get another lawyer to actually deal with our residency application. This lawyer was based in San Jose, which is not a very convenient place to go from where we live in Nuevo Arenal. So we bought a lawyer here and lost $3,000.
And the second lawyer was overwhelmed and not consistent about returning emails. So we then began with a third attorney who we have been very happy with, has been very responsive, and has also given good, helpful information.
But that change didn't cost us any money.
No, just a hassle factor. Yeah. Was there another
Oh, yeah.
expensive mistake?
There was another expensive mistake we made. When you buy a used car in Costa Rica, you want to buy one that they can fix locally. And feeling smart about it, I did in fact buy a used Mitsubishi 4-wheel drive, which we need for our driveway, and I thought I was making a very good decision. But I had not checked into this car. This car was a production run of only 6 months that was then redesigned. After we'd been here for a couple of weeks, the car completely died, and the mechanic said we needed to replace all of the injectors. These injectors are no longer made.
Not even in the United States. So we
They-
couldn't ship them.
They are not available from Japan. They are not available in any junkyard because it was only a 6-month production run. So we lost $12,000 on that.
It's adding up. Yeah.
What kind of car was it?
It was a Mitsubishi, and it ran very well until it didn't run at all.
But it was recommended by someone that obviously didn't know this, and it was somebody selling it to move back to Canada, and they weren't entirely forthcoming about how impossible the parts were to replace. So we had this car for 2 weeks, and then it just got towed away as a junk car. So it would have been cheaper to rent a car.
A lot cheaper. I definitely wish I had bought a new car instead of a used car and then another used car.
Oh, wow. We left out the second used car.
We lost 3/4 of a day of vacation waiting on the side of the road with our radiator blown up. On the other hand, talking about how nice people are in Costa Rica, complete strangers came by in a truck. They stopped. They pulled out a bunch of tools. They opened up our hood. They went to work on the engine. They took out the radiator thermostat. They threw it away, and they said, "You don't need that here." Put it all back together, put water in the radiator, and we were able to go on our way. It was something I don't think I've seen very often in the U.S.
Well, it was harder than we expected.
I think getting the documents for immigration here in a timely manner was more difficult than I would have ever have expected. In the U.S., you're used to having a FedEx or a UPS on every corner. Here, there is one FedEx office, and it's in San Jose. I was unaware there was a DHL in La Fortuna, so we ended up getting the documents shipped to San Jose. And you only have 3 months from the time the documents are initially signed to the time you hand them in to immigration. It may not be true now, but it was then.
So we couldn't find dog care and piled all 3 of our dogs into the car, in this car that was at best unreliable, breaking down through the whole trip, driving through the cloud forest in the mountains to San Jose. There are no addresses here, as you all probably know, and could not find the FedEx office. It took us about 8 hours to find the FedEx office. Well, it was easier than we expected about moving to Costa Rica, meeting people. People were extremely open and warm and engaging and good company. And that's still the case. Part of the reason we were interested in doing this interview with you is because if there had been a business such as yours that did the vetting and helped folks know what questions to ask and helped folks stay focused, we would have saved ourselves so much grief and money and time. It was a very steep learning curve and an expensive learning curve.
Had we worked with somebody like StartAbroad, I think we would have saved about $20,000.
And a hassle factor.
Of course, I was a physician, so I had plenty of money. It wasn't a terrible disaster for me. If you are a person who's been convinced that you can move to Costa Rica and live on $1,500 a month, and you lose that type of money in the first month, you're going to be seriously discouraged. I'm happy we made the move to Costa Rica. It's a wonderful place to live. And where else could you have 5 dogs?
I can think of a few places, but you're right. You're right. That is one of the
That's good.
advantages. I am absolutely so happy to have moved to Costa Rica that I have not left in almost 6 years. I have not been in an airplane in almost 6 years. Why would I want to leave? I love the people, I love the wildlife, I love the climate, and yes, I love having 5 dogs too.
Rapid fire. What's the most memorable trip you've ever taken?
Most memorable trip I've ever taken was my move here 6 years ago, almost 6 years ago, because I had never been here and I was moving to a place I had never been to, and I have barely left my back porch since.
My most memorable trip was my attempt to go to Antarctica in 2019. The boat arrived late, and the owner of the boat went bankrupt during the trip. My trip went from Buenos Aires to Porta Medellin and back. I have a very strange bird list for Antarctica.
What's the grossest thing you've ever eaten?
A yellow jacket. It flew into my soda. I drank my soda along with the yellow jacket, and it stung me in the throat. I almost died.
What's the most beautiful beach you've ever been to?
Playa Conchal in Costa Rica.
What's one thing from the U.S. you can't live without?
Chocolate.
Which chocolate's here?
But it's one thing from the U.S. I can't live without.
Oh, okay. My iPad. It's hard to replace iPads here.
Do you have any pets? And if yes, what are their names?
We have 5 dogs, and their names are Lupita,
Lupita,
Bella, Frida Kahlo, Karina, and
Lita.
Hippolyta Reina de las Amazonias.
We call her Lita.
Have you ever ridden an ostrich?
No.
No.
What advice would you give to somebody that wants to move to Costa Rica?
So
I
surely,
would have turned off my cell phone for the first month because it was so much stress from the United States we brought with us.
Oh, that's a really good one. Okay, unplug sooner rather than later. I'm a lifelong news hound, and it's been very, very difficult for me to not follow the U.S. news. And yes, you can still follow the U.S. news from Costa Rica. Wish I had unplugged much sooner.
Thank you guys very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Want to buy a dog?